Hi guys, it's Paweł here from Emersoft, and in this video I'm going to show you how to correctly set up Ingram fulfillment for TikTok shop orders in your Shopify store. So first of all, you need to install the TikTok application in your Shopify store. After you install it, you just need to follow the steps to connect your existing TikTok shop with your Shopify. Once you do that, you will see this screen. So first of all, let's look at the locations in your Shopify store. So after you navigate to settings and go to locations, you will be able to see your locations added here. And also, if you install our Emersoft Books application, you will see the Emersoft Books with Emersoft Books Fulfillment Ingram. Now, let's add the Ingram Return Fulfillment Center. So I already added it here, but you just need to click Add Location and provide all the information, and then make sure that you uncheck the fulfillment. So this location is only going to be for returns. And now Ingram has two options for the returns. Let me show you in our documentation. If you navigate to Emersoft Books documentation, you can go to Ingram and then click on returns and cancellations, and you can find all the details here. But there are two options. So first one is bulk returns. If you decide to allow your customers to just return books to your store, they send them back to your location or they come and drop them off. And then once a month, you can just bulk return everything to Ingram on this address, or just delegate the return handling to Ingram directly. So people will just ship back their products to Ingram to the same address. So you can find it here. One note is that Ingram charges $25 per unit returned for the service. So let's go back to Shopify. If you decide to go with the option 2, so let Ingram handle the all returns, you just need to populate the address here from our documentation, uncheck the fulfillment, and I will show you how that looks like. So I have the Ingram Return Center address. This is not a physical store and there is no fulfillment. This is just the address. And we will map that return center to TikTok returns. So once we have the locations sorted out in our Shopify settings, we can navigate back to TikTok application, go to Shop Management, and from here we go to Shop Settings. Then go to Fulfillment, and let's check the warehouse settings and mapping. So first of all, Ingram has 4 different distribution centers. Unfortunately, right now it's a little bit of a limitation, but we have just one Shopify location for all 4 distribution centers on Ingram. And this is not the best setup for TikTok shop. However, we are working on this actively, and that will be resolved in the near future. But for now, you need to decide on one distribution center with Ingram for the fulfillment. So the Tennessee distribution center is their primary distribution center, and most of the products will most likely be shipped from there. And also Tennessee is on the East Coast, which means like majority of people in the US, they live on East Coast. So there's a bigger chance that your customers will be on the East Coast. So making it as the primary warehouse makes the most sense at this point. But as I mentioned, this is not the best, because sometimes the product might be shipped from a different warehouse, and TikTok shop might flag that. So you basically tell TikTok that your products will be shipped from Tennessee, but there might be shipped from, let's say, this warehouse. So the address on the shipping label won't match the address that you provided in TikTok, which might be flagged by them. But one of the solutions would be to reach out to Ingram sales rep and just let them know that you would like to have all your products be shipped from Tennessee warehouse, so they can set it up. Of course, that might lead to some other problems, like if the warehouse doesn't have the product, then they will wait until it's available, so it will make the shipping times a little bit longer. But as I said, this is a challenge that we are working on, and our application will fully support that. For now, I would suggest setting up it this way. So essentially, you click the Add Warehouse, United States, and then provide the address for the Tennessee warehouse, and you can find all those addresses under our documentation. So if you go back to the documentation, you can go to Ingram CDF Lite and click to distribution centers, and you will see all the addresses for their distribution centers here. So you just grab the Tennessee and provide it to TikTok. So once you add the warehouse here, it will be activated. I also added the rest, but as you can see, they are all deactivated. Now you can also create the return warehouse, and that's essentially the address that I was showing you previously. So it's going to be the same process as you were adding the return center in Shopify. Now, once you added both, you can navigate to warehouse mapping, and then you just need to map the Emersoft Books fulfillment Ingram to the Tennessee warehouse that you added, that you just added. And then you also map the return warehouse. So Ingram Return Center from our Shopify will be added. You just map to the Ingram Return Center that you just added to TikTok. And that's gonna be the correct setup for fulfillment centers. Again, we are working on improving that. That's gonna be more robust in the near future. So once we have the warehouses mapped, we can navigate back here and check the shipping options. Now I'm on the shipping options page inside of TikTok Shop, and you need to add an option for Emersoft Books Fulfillment Ingram. With Ingram, you can only use the seller shipping. Ingram doesn't support the TikTok shipping because TikTok requires you to use their shipping labels, but Ingram uses USPS and they print those labels in their facilities, so it must be a seller shipping. And now you can create a template, but you can just replicate wherever Ingram has when it comes to shipping. Although by TikTok, the standard shipping price is recommended to be less than $6. And you can find all the shipping prices from Ingram on our documentation page as well. I will show you. As we go back to the documentation, you can go to shipping methods and here, and if you scroll down, you will find the Ingram rates sheets. So you can find all the information here for the shipping. Let's go back to TikTok. For standard shipping, you can use a flat rate, and then there is also the express shipping that you can define. You can also use price conditions, so based on the weight you can define the rate for the shipping, and you can compare that with the sheets that we have in our documentation. However, for new TikTok shops, the express shipping is not available. Only the standard shipping is available for the first orders. I'm not sure how TikTok evaluates that, but initially you will only be able to use the standard shipping. And in our application, you also have an option to define what shipping you want to use from Ingram site for that standard shipping from TikTok. So for example, TikTok will use the standard shipping for your customer. They will charge your customer the flat rate, but you can map that for Ingram to use the expedited shipping. And the price probably not gonna be the same. You will pay more for the expedited shipping for the USPS, but with TikTok Shop there are a lot of compliance when it comes to the delivery times, and I think it's a good investment initially to have those orders delivered in time, so your account will be eligible to use the express shipping in the future and also other bonuses from TikTok Shop. So it's a game that you need to play with TikTok, but it's all available through our application. And if you have more questions about how to set it up, you can always reach out to our support and we will help you with this. So once we have the shipping options defined and attached to the correct locations, we can go back to the shipping carrier mapping. I'm back in my Shopify TikTok application, and then you can go to carrier mapping, name mapping, and click edit here. And you need to map the OSMW to USPS. That's the information. The Ingram uses USPS, but Shopify, for whatever reason, marks this as OSMW. So you just need to add that mapping to your settings, and then as soon as the Shopify order is updated with tracking number, that information will be passed on to TikTok. And then TikTok will automatically update your customer about the upcoming order and about the tracking number and all the information. So this is the entire setup. You need to make sure that you add in the Ingram return location to your Shopify store. Then you need to map the warehouses under settings and mapping. You need to choose whatever warehouse you want to use with Ingram. As I said, by default, I recommend using the Tennessee warehouse. This is their primary warehouse, but you can define with Ingram what's your primary warehouse, or if you just want to use one warehouse with them always, and then you can just map that here. Also add the return warehouse, then set up the seller shipping for Ingram and add the mapping. And that's really the entire setup. If you guys have any more questions, always reach out to us. We are happy to help.